This Truth Ministries back with another video. Alright. Today we're gonna be discussing the debate. Alright. The debate is coming up. It's gonna be a couple weeks from now, March 22nd. Alright. At St. Francis College in Brooklyn, New York. Alright. If you ain't already got your tickets, get your tickets because the price will be going up. Sinetta said. So get your tickets. If you ain't gonna be able to make it, the live stream information is listed also on this flyer, so you can also get the live stream, so you can be able to at least see it and not have to wait till Sinetta uploads the debate to YouTube. All right, so we gonna get into it today. All right, I'm about to drop a lot of information, a lot of bombs, a lot of shit that's gonna come out today. All right. A lot of things that certain people think they're going to use in the debate against others, it's going to come out today. So I hope both sides are paying attention, all right? Because playtime is over, all right? I'm tired of the rhetoric going around in the community, the divide and conquer that's going on between ourselves. This shit has got to stop, all right? And it stops today. And if ain't nobody else going to speak up, Truth Ministries going to speak up about this shit because the shit got to stop. All right? We are all Africans. All right? We are all one people. We just got to come to one understanding. All right, so we're going to get into it. The topic of the debate is, was Christianity stolen from ancient Kemet? All right? Whew. This question came about over time. This wasn't the original statement. We're going to get into it because a lot of y'all don't know me and Garfield were pretty much like the first debate on this topic, whether Christianity was influenced by Kemet, was between me and Garfield. All right, so we're going to get into that right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and show y'all the debate, and I want y'all to notice what Garfield's ideas was at this point in time. At this point in time, he believed there was no influence at all, okay? No influence at all about ancient Kemet being an influence in Christianity. Not about whether or not it's being stolen, but whether it was an influence at all. So let's get into it. We ain't going to play the whole video, but we're going to play some of it.
Hold on a second. Let me, I forgot I got my earpieces in. All right. Truth Ministries, are you there, my brother?
Yeah, I'm here, brother.
All right, let me ask you a question, man. Why would you think I'm scared of you, my brother? Where did he go? Come back on.
Phone
Where did you
cut
go?
out. I'll be right back. It's going to come. I'm going to come right back.
Oh, man. Come on back, brother. I'm here studying my Hebrew stuff. I got to meet up with my Hebrew teacher. So I'm going to, yeah. All right. Peace and love, brother. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, bro. My fault. Cut out real quick.
Why do you think Garfield would be scared of you, my brother?
I never said Garfield would be scared of me. Okay. I don't know where you got that from.
So why after the show yesterday you ran to Sarnetta? I said Garfield scared. He cut me off.
I didn't say that. I can actually show you the text that said that you.
But why are you going to Sarnetta in the first place?
Pause.
Because you told.
We're going to pause it for a second. I want y'all to notice how when Garfield asks a question, he doesn't allow you to answer the question, all right? What he does is he listens to the first two words and then interrupts you, all right? So the reason I went to Sinetta was to prevent that during a debate because he just interrupts too much. It's a debate tactic. You know what I mean? What he does is he tries to distract you. He tries to throw you off your train of thought by asking multiple different questions, okay? It's just a debate tactic that he does all the time. So Jabari, please be aware of that. I hope the moderator, but they say they got a pretty good moderator, so hopefully that's not going to happen in this debate. But let's get back into it.
Told me to set up the debate. Remember at the end of the what you call it?
You said between me and you. Why wouldn't debate out here? Why would
I never set it up because we need a moderator? Because cut me off.
All right. Let's go, man. Let's get it in. Hey, peace and love to everybody that's watching. We're gonna have a nice little conversation, and we gonna get it in. All right. The topic is the topic that I did put is that did Egypt have a direct influence? But you want to go into the sciences now. I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna give you your time to talk, and I'm gonna shut up. I'm gonna time myself. And I don't know. Does anybody want to come in and be a moderator? Anybody could come in. I'll put the link in the chat so the brother could feel comfortable. I'm not gonna cut you off today anyway, so you ain't even gotta worry about that. All right. So peace and love to everybody out there. This is your brother Garfield. This is a debate about Egypt influence, a direct influence, and so forth. We're gonna talk about Christianity, and if you want to go into the Bible, I do believe that the Bible has influence from Egypt. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying as far as Christianity, I don't see a direct influence by any. As a matter of fact, you know what? Let me get a moderator. Hold on. Let me get a moderator. I got an idea. Let me call my brother and see if he's available. Anybody want to be a moderator, man? Want to come in and be a moderator? Well, I'm mature enough. He's mature enough. We could moderate our damn self. Black people always think we need supervision like we some damn slaves. We ain't no damn slave. This is my brother, and I'm his brother, and we gonna be cool after this anyway. We ain't no enemies. You know, we're here for the better understanding for our people. All right. So now let's get it started, brother. The first thing topic I want to talk about. Is there a topic you want to talk about? Let's pick a topic you want to talk about, then we just alternate. Where do you find that? When you say influence, go ahead, brother.
Oh, the topic I want to talk about is when people say that spirituality is pseudo.
Pause. Now, the reason I wanted to get into that topic was because the day before I called into the Garfield's live stream, and he pretty much called me the biggest pseudo in the world because I was telling him about spiritual influences in the Bible, okay? Called me the biggest pseudo in the world, and that's how this debate that you're watching right now came about. All right, so let's get back into it.
We're going to break that down today because I got the textbooks. I got laboratory manual, brother. I'm not...
Yeah, that's why I wanted to get into the science, because it's a whole bunch of... I'm not even on that train of thought no more. Let's get into this.
I got real books, PhD books.
What does that have to do with if Jesus is influenced by Egypt though?
If you remember,
that's a whole other debate, brother. We talking about did Jesus
that right now?
All right. Okay, so let's go. We're gonna talk about Jesus and was there a direct influence by Egypt? Direct influence. And you got to show me the transmission.
I'm gonna give him one direct influence right now. Okay.
Direct. You mean like they actually came into Israel and taught the knowledge? Because this is what happened. Have you ever heard of Hermetic science? Hermetics. Hermes Trismegistus.
I heard about all of that, brother. Yes, sir.
So you also know that he is associated with Tahuti. Like Hermes and Tahuti is literally understood to be the same thing or the same being.
All right.
Now,
hold on a second. Yeshua, regarding the topic, I ain't got time for your asshole shit today, Yeshua. I'm really not in the mood. All right? For those who don't want to watch the debate, turn off. The topic is, as you could see on the screen, it's really, I know what the brother wants to talk about, pseudo and science. That's not what we're talking. We're talking about the same debate we was having yesterday. We need clarity.
Nah, he switched it up.
The
debate we had yesterday was about pseudo and science.
What did Egypt directly influence the Bible? I mean, not the Bible. The a matter of fact, bro, I'll even extend it. You could say the Old Testament too. You could extend it to the Old Testament and the New Testament. All right, go ahead, beloved.
I don't even need to do that. What it is it's the Hermetics. The Hermetic science was put into the Bible. Now, anybody that knows Hermetic science, it is Kemetic science. It is the teachings of Thoth. You see what I'm saying? So if they took the teachings of Thoth, the Greeks took the teachings of Thoth and turned it into Hermetic science, and they put that in the Bible. The Egyptians had to influence the Bible for the simple fact that that is their science. Did you understand that?
Made perfect sense.
Hey, keep building, bro. I'm just waiting. When you're ready for me to respond, just let me know.
That's pretty, like, that's like the link right there to how, If you
we gonna
understand
get to more
Hermetics
links
and
today. We
the
gonna get into
God-man
these links.
concept and all that type of stuff, you understand that it's in Kemet. And if once you understand the Bible, you understand it's in the Bible also, bro. That's all I'm saying is they put the Hermetic science into the Bible and they encode it. That's why you don't understand it. All these people like Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, none of these are real people. They're just different facilities of the body.
All right, beloved. All right, I got you. Okay, all right, let me go ahead. First of all, Abraham is found, Abraham's and his storylines are found in other cultures. Those storylines are not found in Kemet. That's the first thing I'm going to say. The first witness I'm going to bring is the book. Hold on a second.
So y'all see his understanding as it is at this point in time, right? He didn't believe that Egypt had any direct influence on Kemet at all. But we will see that his thoughts have changed, all right? So we're going to get into this video on his own channel that he
This is what Jabari is counting on. This is what he's counting on. That you are thinking about
this
influence
was
and not origins. Now pay
a more
attention,
recent live. It was January 31st.
That Egypt founded Christianity. That's not the title, my brother.
Got the title where it did Christianity stolen from Egypt. That's the same. That means the same thing, correct?
All right.
Christianity stolen from Egypt. Read the title for me.
Was Christianity stolen from Egypt?
What does that mean to you?
Okay, see what you messing up is it's 3 parts to it. It's gonna be like two chapters in it. Garfield is saying that Christianity don't come out of Kemet. That's the wrong thing, brother. Robon, you smarter than that. All these books that you read, all the books that I have read and studied, I still remember that, brother. Where they copy so much. Hold on. How they have plagiarized and copied so much out of Kemet. And the reason I choose to use the word plagiarize is because they don't give the credit to Kemet. They don't say, oh, we got this from Kemet and we're going to use it in Christianity. So what they do, they plagiarized it. We are not saying everything come from Kemet, brother. Garfield knows that. You see? We'd be a fool to say that.
Brother T. Gibbons said, never reveal your hand. Listen, there's so much to talk about. There's nothing about revealing your hand or not. I'm for the truth. So if people are going to say that it originated, the debate is pretty much over. It's over. The debate is practically over. There's nothing to debate about. I'm just going there for the celebration. There's no way Kemet originated Christianity. You could show influence all you want on Catholicism and some version of Christianity down the line. That ain't got nothing to do with Christianity. Christianity started in the 1st century.
Pause. What Garfield is trying to do with this question, was Christianity stolen from ancient Kemet? He's trying to mold the debate around something that he can prove, because he already knows that he can prove that it wasn't no influence. He knows that Kemet had something to do with the creation of that Bible. Okay? Whether it was the Old Testament or the New. Okay? At this point in time. Alright? So, let's continue with the this one.
And don't bring, and Jabari, I know you listening, don't bring no quotes from no church fathers either. Because you're going to get beat up on that. Again, this debate is not about influence.
Yeah, that's why about influence, because I kicked your ass about influence already. And then you're going to tell everybody that I lost the debate. Nah, brother. Where you at right now? You know it was an influence.
That's the problem I'm having with this. I don't understand. Now I'm not clear about
because that brings me up to another point that I gotta tell y'all. These debates don't really seem like it's about the truth. You feel what I'm saying? That's another thing that's pissing me off. They not about the truth. That nobody wants to actually find what's the truth. Everybody just wants to win. It's about their ego. Okay? But we're gonna get to the truth today. We're gonna show both sides of the coin. We're gonna show all this shit. We're gonna pull the skirt up, as they say. Alright, let's continue.
Because now I'm not clear. Because nobody, not even me, says that Egypt did not have an influence on Christianity.
Garfield said straight up that he Christianity was not influenced by Kemetic. That's what he said, brother.
Yeah, but that's not the name of the debate. The title that you have on there is basically saying that Christianity stole from Egypt. When I look at that, I'm saying you're basically saying without Egypt, there's no Christianity. So you're
That is true. That is correct. That is correct, brother. Hold on, brother.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, you're saying that Christianity came from Egypt. That is the foundation of it. You're not just
Raz, right. The origins of Christianity is Kemet. He's basically Christianity stole from ancient Kemet. Was Christianity stolen from ancient Kemet? It's basically going to boil down to the foundation, as Robon did say, and are the origins. All right, well here we go.
talking about influences at this point. When you say that title, you're talking about it in the foundation. That's why I told y'all, man, y'all gotta read this title clear so there's no wiggle room. So then when people go up there, somebody's talking about one point and somebody's talking about something else. That's gonna be crazy.
Trust and believe me, Garfield knows exactly what we're talking about. Matter of fact, Robon, let me invite you tomorrow, 5 o'clock at Jabari's house. We are doing the weigh-in with Garfield versus Brother Jabari and Captain Tazariak, because, you know, Captain don't give a damn who wins, so he's going to be partial. He ain't going to be one-sided. Yeah. Captain Tazariak will be the one asking the questions, and I want to welcome you tomorrow to be there. That way you can ask the question, like, brother, can y'all clear up the title for us? What is the title?
Yeah, you know? Oh, my bad. Yeah, so, all right, that's cool, man. I just want to say something to what you said. I'll just be 2 minutes.
Will you be there tomorrow?
What time is it, though? That's
5 o'clock. I just told you, 5 o'clock.
No, I can't be there. Can't be there 5. I got somebody else 5 p.m. And you know I work at night.
I know.
Wake up in the morning and then I jump on these dudes loud at 11 and 12. Obviously, I'm not working at that time. I work from, like, in the afternoon to now.
Okay, so well, check this out. I will ask the question for you. So that way it will be live on the air when I ask the question.
Yeah, so when you ask the question, make sure that are you debating that Egypt influenced Christianity or that Egypt is the origin of Christianity?
Either way, brother. Either way, Garfield is saying that Christianity was not influenced by Kemet. I asked him that question specifically.
I know.
You see what Jonathan is doing? You said either way. No. That's not the debate. Was Christianity stolen from ancient Kemet? Was the origins of Christianity?
Watch them, y'all.
Is from Kemet. That's pretty much another way of saying it. I don't think Sonny even understand the topic.
I never heard it.
Well, you're gonna hear him. You're gonna hear him.
All right.
And if he changes mind, brother,
well, you're gonna hear him right now. I ain't even gonna hold you up. I'm gonna show you your brother saying it right now. Right motherfucking now, because we ain't got time for them games about who said what. We got evidence. We got video footage, buddy. I'm gonna show you right now where he says it. Where is it at? It's about right about. Let's start right here. It's about right here.
Of Egypt on Christianity. I have never seen it. Yeah, sure. And when we come back at 3 o'clock, I want you to bring that evidence, because I'm not saying that my mind can't change. I'm not saying that. And what I'm saying to everybody right now is I'm willing to learn. It's just that this brother in Truth Ministries, you already sit, bro. You over 30. You already have your mind made up. I ain't trying to convince you about nothing. All I'm saying is there is no direct evidence that Christianity was influenced by Egyptian teaching. Now hold on 1 second. Let me make one last point.
Let's go back a second so you can hear it again, Rob. We want you to hear it clearly.
Because I'm not saying that my mind can't change.
I want you to hear it clearly.
I'm not saying that.
Mouth.
And what I'm saying to everybody right now is I'm willing to learn. It's just that this brother in Truth Ministries, you already sit, bro. You over 30. You already have your mind made up. I ain't trying to convince you about nothing. All I'm saying is there is no direct evidence that Christianity was influenced by Egyptian teaching. Now hold on 1 second. Let me make one last point.
That's why I want to say something.
Yeah, one last point, and I'm gonna let you get the last word. You can't show a direct influence because the people were ruled over by the Romans at the time.
That's what we're going to do.
The writings of the Bible, the oldest scripts, you always find them in Alexandria, Egypt, because that's where the Greek Neoplatonist people were. And you are under the Romans, so if the Romans are going to influence a new storyline, you are going to see what? What are you going to see? A Roman influence. So the website I was showing, by the way, family, it's a Google web.
So I want y'all to understand where his mind was at the beginning of this debate, okay? He didn't think Christianity had any influence by Kemetic at all, okay? At all. The reason that his mind is changing is because of people that's around him that's actually telling him information and feeding him information. And now his mind is evolving, okay? So that's why the debate topic is what was Christianity stolen from Kemetic. That's why it's like that and not about the influence. It's because he already lost that debate. Now, let's answer his questions. We never met back up at 3 o'clock like he just said to finish this debate. Even though, I don't know, I was more than available. But he never hit me up and never go back live. After this debate, he actually went all over the internet and started slandering me. You feel what I'm saying? He ain't go all over, but all along his lives, he would slander me, call me pseudo, all type of stuff. So after that, conversation gets a little twisted between me and him. But we're going to stick to the information in this one. We're going to bring him the straight information, the straight link between Kemet and Christianity. So let's get into the information right now. All right. So we're going to go into a book. All right. We're going to go into this book. Let's get the name of the book so y'all can see the name of the book. The name of the book is Martin A. Larson's Story of Christianity. I'm going to put the link to this because it is a PDF that y'all can easily just get, but you can't do it on your phone. You got to look at it on a laptop because for some reason it doesn't format on your phone or something. So it is what it is. You got to use your laptop to actually look at this book. So it's called The Story of Christian Origins. All right. So we're not going to read the whole book because it's a lot of information in this book. Everybody needs to get this book. If you're really interested in the truth about this stuff, about theology and where it all comes from and want to know this information, this is a very good book to source. You know what I mean? All right, so we're not going to go into the whole thing, but we are going to get into certain portions of it, particularly this one right here. The original Savior God, Osiris. Because this is this is where all other traditions come from. The understanding of dying and resurrecting Savior. Okay? That is the direct lineage of Christianity. It is the whole principle of Christianity. The dying and resurrecting Savior. I'm not just going to talk about it. I'm going to show y'all direct influence and where that shit come from. All right? This book is amazing. And along with this book, it actually shows you how from this, it transformed into all these other different cultures. Okay? This one is very important too, because a lot of this was put into the Bible also. You have to understand all of this stuff. All this stuff is actually part of the Bible. Okay? Buddhism is a big part of it. Buddhism. It's crazy the amount of information that they actually put together to create the Christ. But they actually did create this guy. But, and this is what Garfield is going to try to do. He's going to try to use certain information, right, that comes out of these guys, their sins, about a man that did exist. Garfield is absolutely right about that. The guy did exist. His name was it was not put into the documents. He was only known by the teacher of righteousness. And we're going to get on to the teacher of righteousness also. All right, we're gonna get all into that. So first, we're gonna get into this stuff, the actual link. Now I gotta scroll down and find the actual section because I'm not reading all this stuff to y'all. This is a lot of stuff. You'll see how long I gotta scroll to get to the certain section. All right. So we're gonna scroll down. Y'all need to read all this shit though. All this shit is like building to how all of it came about. Here we get to the Osiris tradition, okay? And what this does is it breaks down a lot, even though I believe the writer was pretty much had a racist point of view. Because if you notice in the book, when you read it, that you notice that he has more of a white supremacist point of view on Kemet and on Greek culture, okay? He glorifies Greek culture while he tries to diminish Egyptian. Even if you'll see when you read the book. I'm not going to go into that in this video because that would be a whole nother subject. All right. So let me keep going. All this is just talking about the story of the gods and all the different theologies of Kemet. The religion of Osiris, and it's going to break down pretty much the entire story of Osiris. But you got to understand that the Osiris tradition comes from the Asar tradition. It was transformed by the Greeks into the Asar tradition, okay? And this also spread around the world, but it's based on Osiris tradition. Great morning star. Boom, 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 boom. We're going to get to the section, people. Stick with me. And y'all going to love this. I'm telling you, y'all going to love it when I get to it. Because it's the win. Jabari for the win. And the new first as we going farther down. So you see how much I got? It's a long book. I read a lot. I ain't even all the way through it yet. I'm close to the end, but I ain't all the way through it yet. All right, let's get into these festivals. Because what I'm trying to do is find the festivals part, all right? Because we got to understand what these festivals that they used to do for Osiris was about. And this is going to prove everything, because some of these practices from Osiris is still being practiced today in the Christian church, and I'm going to prove it right now. All right, we got to go back up. All right. All right, we getting close to it. Let me find the exact part. There you go. All right, the sixth section describes the mysteries as practiced in the temples of Isis and at Mendes. On the first day of the festival of plowing, okay, the goddess appeared in her shrine, where she was stripped naked. Paste made from grain was placed in her bed and moistened with water. All this symbolized the great procession by which the human race is generated and food germinated from the earth. Osiris was the seed which, I think they spelled it wrong, fertilized Mother Isis, who symbolized also the earth itself. We see, therefore, that the publicity performed, passion played, depict the earthly career of Osiris. But the secret rites consist of Solomon ceremony symbolizing the transfiguration of the grain into Osiris, and of Osiris into the grain. And all of this was climaxed by the eating of sacramental God, okay? The Eucharist, okay? By which the celebrants were transformed and their procession into replicas of their God-man, okay? So basically what they would do was they would make some bread, right? That came from a certain grain that was planted by a seed that they believed to be was the seed of Osar. I mean, I keep on saying Osar because that's the original name of Osiris. But we're talking about the Osiris tradition. So they believed that it was the seed of Osiris. So they took the seed and planted it into a certain field that was called a divine field. Nobody was allowed in the field to touch anything until these festivals, and it was a whole big situation around it. So what they did was they took the grain and they turned the grain into bread. They also would had a similar field of barley, okay, and they would take the barley and brew it into wine, okay, and they would eat the bread and drink the barley in representation of eating Asar and eating the body of Asar and drinking the blood of Asar, okay, or Osiris, okay. So I already know y'all can see where that y'all still do that shit today in Christianity. Y'all still take the body of Osiris, which y'all think is Christ, and enter it into your mouths and drink his blood. Okay? This is communion. This is the origin of communion that is still practiced today. And this is the understanding behind communion that was about thousands of years before it actually existed. Okay? I ain't gonna say thousands, hundreds. Let's be accurate, because I know people gonna try to pick apart this presentation, but I don't see how. All right, the Osirian sacrament we noted under B7 some of the ethnical and ceremonial prerequisites for becoming an Osiris, but none of these could avail at all without the miraculous power contained in the divine Eucharist. There was power. There was power in the flesh of the blood of Osiris. He was the grain, and the bread made from it was the sacred food. The barley ale brewed from it was the divine drink, literally believed to be the body and the blood of the god. Since the ancient Nilotics, I want to say, believed that the human beings become whatever they eat. This Osirian sacrament was believed able to make them celestial and immortal. The doctrine of the Eucharist has its ultimate roots in prehistoric cannibalism. It was universally believed among savages that by eating other human beings, this is what I'll talk about, its understanding of things. You can understand he had a very European understanding of all this stuff. And it's also true, but it was more Europeans eating people than it was African Americans. I mean, not African Americans, but Africans, to be honest. Let's just be clear about this situation. All right. It was universally believed among savages that by eating other human beings or gods, their virtues and powers would be absorbed by the eaters. Such cannibalism, common among African tribes until they recently and still practiced among the most primitive, had this primary objective. Melville describes the sacredal rite among the South Sea Islanders. Okay, one of the oldest of the pyramid texts is that of Unis from the what is that dynasty? I can't read Greek Roman numerals. I don't know which one. That's 21st. I think that's the 21st dynasty. I'm not sure. 2500 BC. All right. This is the great importance because it shows that the original ideology of Egypt had commingled with the Osirian concept. Although he is ultimately given high place in heaven by order of Osiris, Uranus is represented as being at first an enemy of the gods and his ancestors, whom he hunts, lulls, kills, cooks, and eats so that their powers and attributes may become his own. It is obvious that at the time this was written, the eating of parents and gods was considered a most uh, laughable ceremony, and it emphasizes how difficult it must have been for the Osirian priesthood to stamp out the older cannibalism. The Akiru gods tremble. The Kinumu world. Okay, I don't know what that meant, but okay, I hope y'all did. When they see Uranus, a risen soul, in the form of a god who lives upon his fathers and feeds upon his mothers. He eats men. He eats their words of power. He swallows their spirits. What he finds on his path, he eats eagerly. He eats what he finds on his path. He eats eagerly. He eats the wisdom of every god. His period of life is eternity. Their souls is in his body. Their spirits are within him. Having partaken of this dynastic sacrament, Uranus becomes an Osiris and is admitted to the company of the gods. A parallel message is found in the Pyramic text of Pepi II, who it is said seizeth those who are in the following of Set. He breaketh their heads. He cutteth off their hutches. He teareth out their intestines. He diggeth out their hearts. He drinketh copiously of their blood. Okay? So yeah, it was they're trying to say that it was like a cannibal cult, which it may have been. I wasn't around back then, so I'm not going to be the judge of it. I'm just out here to get the information and get the truth. Hopefully we get the truth in this debate. Hopefully the people of this debate watch the video and elaborate on it. You feel me? But we know at this point in time that it is a direct influence from Kemet, from this Osiris tradition that pretty much created the dying and resurrecting God man, based on the drinking and eating of blood. Okay? Okay? We ain't gonna get too much into more of that drinking and eating the blood. The moral evolution of the Osirian cult lay in its identification of bread with the flesh of its god, and of barley ale with his blood. The partaker of this Eucharist could now achieve a mystical transformation and become an Osiris by living on wheat and barley bread during his lifetime, by drinking and eating the sacred ale and cakes during an annual mysteries, and by enjoying the same sacred fare and I can never pronounce this word. This is an Egyptian word, skemet, not sekakit, seskit. Yeah, I can't never pronounce the words. I can read them, but I can recognize them. I can never read them. Aurora. Once his chi or kai, no, it's chi, had joined his sasu in the next world. By this simple metaphysical transposition, the bloody sacrament became symbolic, but no less effective. The Osiris was, to his believers, literally and with complete reality, the divine seed which came down from heaven and was born from the earth that men might have life and have it more abundantly. And all who might have life and have it more abundantly, and all who ate of that bread might live forever. For it was the flesh of the God, which he gave for the life of humanity. Whosoever ate the flesh and drank the blood of Osiris had eternal life, for he would be resurrected beyond the grave. Whosoever ate that flesh and drank that blood dwelt in Osiris, and Osiris dwelt in him. Understand this. This is the whole basis of Christianity. Okay? This is the whole basis of the Christ. Okay? This is the whole basis of the Christ. This was the divine mystery which was given to the world by Egypt and which spread throughout the Mediterranean area in various cults. This concept originated only once, but it proliferated in all directions and became the dynamic force in every mystery cult. It was solely by means of this sacramental food that the corruptible of the deceased could be clothed with incorruption. This idea appears again and again in infinite variety. The scribe Nebuchadnezzar, I can't pronounce that even. I'm bad with names, bro. Implores, and there in the celestial mansions of heaven, which my divine father Tim have established, let my hands lay hold upon the wheat and the barley, which shall be given unto me therefore in abundant measure. This was the celestial Eucharist, without which the Chashu itself, the spiritual body, could not germinate from the mummy. New corroborates this fact by stating, I am established, and the divine ski, I can't pronounce it. I'm sorry, I can't get that word. Hotep is before me. I have eating, therefore, I have become a spirit therein. I have abundance therein. Again, I have declared, I am the divine soul of Ra, which is God. I am the divine food which is not corrupted. Nu identifies himself with Osiris and Ra, and with Ra, who is called the divine. This is the sacramental food, as we know. Horus was also frequently identified with his father, and we read Horus is both the divine food and the sacrifice. Okay? We read that the bread and the ale of Osiris make the eater immortal, an idea which is frequently elaborated. The Osirian shall eat of that wheat and barley, and his limbs shall be nourished therewith, and his body shall become like unto the bodies of the gods. That the sacramental food which gives immortality was a very ancient concept we learn from the pyramid text of Tita, which dates from about 2600 BC, and which embodies the idea far more ancient still. We read here that the Osiris Tita receiveth thy bread which decayeth not, and thy beer which perish not. In the text of Pepi the First, we read, all the gods give thee their flesh and their blood. Thou shalt not die. In the text of Pepi II, the aspirant prays to thy bread of eternity and thy beer of everlastingness. The god-man Osiris, such was the great man Osiris, human, like us, and thus able to take upon himself all our sorrows, but also divine, and therefore able to confer divinity upon us. He brought the divine bread from heaven for mankind. He thought justice and practiced mercy. He died, was buried, and rose from the grave. He gave to all who became members of his mystical body his flesh to eat and his blood to drink, so that his divine sacraments might then transfigure them into celestial gods. He went before to prepare mansions for his initiates and Elysium, I want to say, and he was to be the just and merciful judge before whom men and women must appear beyond the grave. Okay? Okay? So we just going, that shit's dead. Y'all know what I just read. Y'all heard that shit. That shit come from Kemetic. That is the Christ story. That is the theology behind the Christ story. Okay? That's where the theology, the theoretical narrative comes from. Okay? This is where it comes from. All right? It comes from Osiris and the Osiris tradition that was practiced in Kemet. Okay? And it was transformed. That God-man concept is pretty much the basis of every religion in this world. Okay? And this book pretty much lays it out, how it got transformed into pretty much every religion in this world. But we ain't going to get into the whole book again. We going to leave that alone. That's just one side of the coin. There go your win, Jabari. These niggas used to eat the bread and drink the blood of Osiris, bruh. The same way, it's communion. The same shit that they still practice this day, to this day. Alright? We ain't gonna play around with this shit no more. We gonna go into these Essenes now, because now we gonna get into, because that was the theology. That is the mythology that went into building the Christ. Now we gonna get into the actual person. Alright? We gonna get into the actual person. Now I gotta find this motherfucker. My fault I didn't have this queued up. I didn't think that far in advance. I should have thought that far in advance to have this queued up also. Alright. Next time I won't make this mistake, because now I gotta go through all these damn traditions. Let me just do it like this. This is faster. Gotta slow down though. Because all this is going through every different phase of Christianity and all, pretty much all the different, it's explaining all the different traditions of the different theologies that was put into the Bible. That's pretty much what all this I'm scrolling through is explaining. They explained it pretty much like they just did the Osiris tradition. You ain't gonna get no gun to eating yet. Page was, I think it's 2 something. If I'm not mistaken. It's 3. Let's go to the table of contents first. Let's see what page is on. Alright, let's do that, because I ain't trying to hold y'all up. I'm trying to make this quick. This is where we want to go. Right here to page 247. 247. That's where I want to go. That's where we going to start getting into it. Because y'all got to know. Was it 347? Or 247? I think it was 247, wasn't it? Yeah, it had to be 247. Oh, here you go. No, that ain't it. It was 247. My fault, people. My fault, people. Just stick with me. Got y'all. Promise you. It'll be worth the wait. Because I'm about to bring y'all to the Christ. What actually, the person who they made the Christ off of, pretty much. We about to get him right now. I can't find the page number. Then I gotta find, here you go. Yeah, it all begins with the Essenes, right? You gotta understand the Essenes. Here you go. Yep. The risen Savior. In the Essene documents at our disposal, we find no specific statement that the teacher had risen from the grave and ascended to heaven. However, the doctrine of his paranoia implies his resurrection. Okay? The sacramental God-man we have traced from its source, the evolution of the central doctrine of Christianity, which is that the Savior God who died at that man may live and become immortal is himself the Eucharistic bread and wine by which this miraculous transformation occurs. Now, whence did the gospel Jesus derive this concept among the Jews? No one but the Essenes practiced this sacrament before the advent of Christianity. Okay, this and Buddhism, which could have provided the only discernment element in the gospel not derived from Essenism, had no suitor whatsoever, while they were appropriating so much else from the Pythagoreans about 105 BC. It is reasonable to believe that the Essenes should have failed to adapt the heart of the mystery in some way. They must have identified their food with the concept of the sacrificed deity. The sacraments, however, the Eucharist among the early Essenes must have been an impersonal nature, for we can find no evidence before 63 BC they had any specific Savior God. And this would indeed have been an incongruous and a cult established upon Jewish traditions. Nothing could be more difficult than to engraft the pseudo with Judaism. Before that date, the bread and wine they took so reverently must have been considered primarily as the consecrated gift. All right. The new soteriology, the death of the teacher, however, must have affected an almost immediate revelation in their. Let's go back to the death of the teacher. I think I'm reading too far because it's not where I wanted it to be. I wanted y'all to see the teacher of righteousness and understand who the teacher of righteousness is. Let me go down because that was the beginning. See something. Where's the teacher? Come on, bro. Find the teacher, bro. That's too far. Oh, I think it ain't too far. Oh, I know what it is. I gotta get to that one part. This is all talking about different books of the Dead Sea Scrolls that was found. We ain't gonna get into all this stuff yet. We trying to find a teacher of righteousness. I'm gonna let y'all read the book for yourselves so y'all can see what it says. There's plenty of information in here. The history of Jesus. Pretty much what it's going to say, folks, is there was a man, right, that existed around 70. I want to say, I'm not sure. It's between 130 and 70 BCE. Okay, there was a man that existed. They called the teacher of righteousness. He was the teacher of their sins, right? And he was one that was against the organized Jews that was in Israel at the time because they had a discrepancy about the calendar system. Okay, the Essenes believed there was 364 days in the calendar, and certain days need to be observed for certain religious reasons. And the organized Jews converted to the regular calendar, pretty much that we use today, of 365 days. Okay, and the teacher of righteousness, didn't believe this was right. So he would speak out about it. So what happened was they called him the priest called him to trial. Here you go. All right, see if we can get into it. But yeah, they called him to court, right? So the day he showed up, right? He showed up on the very day. I think I'm getting into it. I see his name popping up a lot more. So the day he picked to go to court was on the day that the Jews was observing Passover. Okay, mind you, it wasn't his Passover day because he believed a different calendar system. And what he did was he went in there and started debating them and arguing with them about the calendar. So the priest put him on trial. They convicted him and then executed him on Passover. Okay, during the Passover festival, they executed the teacher of righteousness. Just like Jesus Christ got executed, like the Last Supper was on Passover, wasn't it? I believe so, right? So the stories are very similar. This is where the story comes from. It comes from the teacher of righteousness, right? Now, the teacher of righteousness wasn't teaching ordinary Judaism. He was teaching esoteric Judaism, okay? He was teaching metaphysics, okay? And that's why they didn't agree with him. The organized Jews didn't agree with him and wanted them gone. So they eventually just executed him. All right, here we go. Me getting into it. And I'm going to source this because it's in the Dead Sea Scrolls that you got to find this information. This shit that was found about the Essene. Here you go. In the Habakkuk commentary. Okay? Should I start here? I think I might be able to start right here where I'm at. The God-Man Savior in the Habakkuk commentary, written very soon after the Essene prophet was executed. He is called the teacher of righteousness. Yep, this is where I want it. In the Testament and interpolations, however, the teacher has undergone a vast development. He is now regarded as the God incarnate, who, appearing upon earth, had walked humbly among men, who had been slain in an atonement for sinners, and who would return in glory shortly. Thus, almost by accident, the doctrine of the parousia was devised and engrafted upon mystery soteriology. Okay? Alright, we're gonna go up because we didn't get all the way into it. There's still more about the teacher of righteousness up here. Yeah. But yeah, that's where you can find it. That was one of the books from the Dead Sea Scrolls that you can find it. Oh yeah, that's way before this. I ain't even supposed to be in that yet. I wasn't even supposed to be in that section yet, tell you the truth. Okay, here we go. Here go all the good stuff. The teacher of righteousness was an actual individual, believed to possess divine powers by which to interpret the scriptures. And so, where Habakkuk reads that he may run who reads it, this meant the teacher of righteousness, to whom God made known all the mysteries of the world of his servants and prophets. When Habakkuk states, "Look among the nations and see, wonder and be astounded." This means those who acted treacherously together with the man of the lie, for they did not heed the words of the teacher of righteousness. For from the mouth of God at the end of days, this is those who are ruthless against the covenant, who do not believe all the things that are coming upon the last generation. From the mouth of the priest into whose heart God put wisdom to explain all the words of his servants, the prophets. In short, the teacher of righteousness possessed divine power to interpret the prophecies. But the Pharisees and the Asmoneans rejected his message when he told them that they were then at the end of days, and they persecuted him and were ruthless against the members of the covenant. Now follows a passage in which the Romans are described in unmistakable detail, after which Habakkuk in 1:13 is interpreted thus: "Why do ye look on faithless men? But thou art silenced at the swallowing by the wicked men of one more righteous than he." This means the house of Absalom and the men of their party who kept silence at the chastisement of the teacher of righteousness and did not help him against the man of the lie, who rejected the law in the midst of the whole congregation. We believe that the house of Absalom were the Pharisees who, in spite of their own bitter conflicts with the Asmoneans and all they had in common with the Essenes, nevertheless kept silence at the trial and chastisement of the Essene prophet. The commentary continues, "But the righteous shall live by faith." This means all the doers of the law in Judah, whom God will rescue from the house of judgment because of their labor and their faith and the teacher of righteousness. The commentary then quotes Habakkuk, I'm going to keep on calling whatever I want to call it, 2:5-6, till somebody tell me what it actually pronounce it for me, which condemns greed. This means the wicked priest, who was named according to the truth when he first took office. But when he had begun the rule in Israel, he forsook God and betrayed the statutes because of wealth. He plundered the wealth of the people, adding to himself iniquity and guilt, and ways of abomination. He wrathed in all impurity and uncleanness. All right. The wicked priest is here the whole Asmonean dynasty. We know that during the beginning of his reign, the Assyrians regarded Hyrcanus, that's what I want to say, Hyrcanus, who was the first to assume the triple crown of king, priest, and prophet, as well as his Maccabean predecessors with favor. We therefore read that he was named according to the truth when he first took office, but he forsook God and betrayed the statutes. During this maturity, Hyrcanus, went over to the Sadducees, fought with his neighbors, placed them under tribute, confiscated their wealth, and forced Judaism upon them. During this fierce crisis, the gulf between Essenes and Pharisees was accentuated. For no matter how much the latter hated the Sadducees and the apostates, the Asmoneans, they always remained throughout thoroughly Judaic, okay, and abhorred to the Edomites, Syrians, and other Gentiles even more. The commentary finds in the Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 8, prophecy which concerns Alexander Janneus, it's another Greek name, and Aristobulus, Aristobulus. That's Aristobulus the second. Y'all can read it, and somebody get pronounce these names for me so I don't get it wrong all the time when I do videos. But it is what it is. Because you have plundered many nations, all the remnants of people will plunder. This means the last priest of Judaism. Not Judaism. Jerusalem, who assembled wealth and booty from the spoils of the peoples. But at the end of days, their wealth and their spoils will be delivered into the hand of the armies of the Kittim, who they are the render of the people, for the blood of the men and violence to the earth. This means the wicked priest from whom the wrong done to the teacher of righteousness and the men of his party, God delivered into the hands of his enemies, afflicting him with destroying scourge and bitterness of soul, because he acted wickedly, because his elect, the wicked one, we are told, inflicted his scourges with judgment and wickedness, and horrors of sores and disease they wrapped, and him in vengeance in his body of flesh. Because the Asmoneans' last high priest had plundered their neighbors, the Jewish people were now being ravished by the Kittim. And because the wicked priest did wrong to the teacher of righteousness and to the men of his party, God delivered him into the hands of his enemies. The Romans were simply instruments used by the gods to inflict roughly deserved punishment. Josephus states, I can't pronounce these goddamn words. That when Pompey took Jerusalem, of the Jews there fell 12,000, but of the Romans fell very few. He also carried bound along him Aristobulus and his children. This is confirmed by Plutarch in which Life of Pompey, in his Life of Pompey. The commentary proceeds, woe to him who makes his neighbors drink, who pours out his wrath, yea, he who has made them drink, to gaze on their festivals. This means the wicked priest who persecuted the teacher of righteousness, wishing to banish him, and at the days of atonement he appeared to them to confound them. On the day of fasting, their Sabbath rest. Okay? Here we discover the occasion of the Essene leader's execution. Aristobulus, having determined to excel him, had summoned him for execution and trial. But the teacher of righteousness turned the tables. On the day of Passover or atonement, which because of the differing calendar used by the official priesthood in the Essene cult, fell on different days, he appeared boldly before the priests of Aristobulus, challenged their calendar, and made them stumble. Okay? Meaning he pretty much won the debate and they got mad. The prophet was arrested, tried, condemned, scourged, and executed during the Passover festival. And now at least the Essenes possessed that most precious of all religious treasures, without which any broad sociological conquest over mankind in Greek Roman world would have been impossible. They have their sacrificial God-man, okay, who had given his life for the salvation of many. How the teacher of righteousness was transfigured by the imagination of the Essenes in the years following his death, we learn from the testament of the 12 Pharaohs. All right? I mean, patriarchs. I'm sorry. What the fuck? I'm thinking about pharaohs. The 12 patriarchs, which together with the revelations of Enoch become the basic scriptures of this cult. Okay? And then it gets into the 12 patriarchs. All right? So there you have it. This is an actual book. All right? That was written by the Essenes that was pretty much describing their teacher of righteousness. All right? That was written at least almost 100 years before it was said to be a Christ. This comes out the 1st century BCE. All right? So, there you have it right there. They took the teacher of righteousness from the, what was the name of the book again? I want y'all to get it because I know I'm pronouncing it wrong. See, that's what happens when all you do is read. You don't have anybody actually telling you what words, how to pronounce these words. You make them sound the way you make them sound. Fuck it. Y'all get the point. Habakkuk commentary. Okay? Let me find the word. The Habakkuk commentary. That's where you find this information. That is where they write about the first Christ before they transformed him into the Christ we have today. Before they took the God-man concept, right, that we learned about from the Osiris tradition and combined him with the teacher of righteousness and made into the character that we know today as Jesus Christ. Because what happened was when Pompey took over Israel, and he came into Israel, most of the Israelites ran. It was like 12,000 of them. They got the fuck out of there. You see what I'm saying? Most of the Israelites left. There were very few Israelites that were left in Israel when the Romans actually showed up. And the ones that did stay, like the Essenes, were one of these groups that did stay. When questioned about their theology, this is what they told them. Even though this book right here, the Habakkuk commentary, was rejected. You see what I'm saying? It was rejected by Romans at the beginning, and over time it evolved. Okay, and this book details how it evolved and all that shit too. So I think y'all want to look into this book. Y'all might want to get this information, I think the whole debate shouldn't even be a conversation anymore, because I just pointed out where all of it comes from. It's a combination of two different elements. Okay? Christianity was a combination of two different elements. One of these elements definitely originated in Egypt. Okay? The Osiris tradition is definitely Egyptian. Okay? Egypto-Greek, I want to say. You're going to have to say that. All right? Now, what Jabari going to have to do is, let's get back to the debate. What Jabari going to have to do is, he going to have to prove that it was stolen. All right? Even though I think that's very easily done at this point in time. We know about them making molds of Osiris and eating the bread as the body and drinking the barley as the blood. We know about this stuff. This is easy now. You feel me? Like I said, the debate, this debate is more about egos and getting views and people being right than it is about the truth, okay? Because this is real simple. This is real simple. I can't wait for the debate, though. This is the truth, though. I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually make it to the actual event. I'm trying to my damnedest, but I actually got some shit coming up that week that might prevent me from doing it. But if I do, I'm definitely getting a live stream, and I'll definitely be in the chat talking all types of shit. I'm trying to tell you. Gun squad, both barrels loaded. Niggas better stop playing with Kemetic, all right? Because what people don't understand is, people added a lot of stuff to Kemetic. And I can understand Unc and Garfield and everybody trying to remove all the additives. But when you come totally at the whole thing, at spiritual systems altogether and call them pseudo and try to and say we need to stop practicing them, you don't understand those systems in the beginning. You know what I mean? Because you have to have some type of foundation, okay? Some type of foundation to build your life or structure your life off of. All right? And I'm a living testament that the Kemetic traditions and African spiritual traditions work. I was one of these niggas out here in these streets doing all the shit that y'all hate right now. I was one of them. One of the main ones in Baltimore doing it. All right? We ain't going to get into all that, but I was one of them. And I'm right here doing these type of videos right now today. A whole changed man because of those systems. So when y'all come at shit like that, you gotta understand, y'all really don't understand the systems at all. First off, anybody that thinks these Kemetic gods or beings that existed or sitting in the sky are totally wrong. Every Kemetic deity is either an aspect of a force in nature or a force within yourself. And when you master the understanding of these forces, okay, you can master yourself and become the greatest version of you, okay? And this is what we need as a people. We need to stop operating in what is understood as our lower selves. All our lower selves is all the negative shit that we do out here. Our lower understanding, okay? Shit that we know that's wrong that we do anyway, and which a lot of us are doing. What Kemetic science does is it educates us about certain traits that all humans have, okay? And when you master those traits, you become a master of yourself. And that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen. It's not about worshiping anything outside yourself, because everything is in you. You are that which you seek. You are God. That energy you call God is flowing through you right now. It is you. And that is the highest understanding of spirituality. Okay? So we need to cut all this bullshit, get back together, and get to building our shit back up, man. We got to start competing in this goddamn world. We ain't competing. All we doing is living off. We dependent. We dependent like fuck. If they turned off they motherfucking, if y'all want to separate, right? But if they turned off they motherfucking help right now, most of you motherfuckers would die because you don't know how to survive. You talk about war, but how many of y'all can actually motherfucking tell me the formula for gunpowder? Because when they stop sending y'all niggas bullets, How y'all gonna fire y'all guns? What y'all gonna use if you don't know how to make gunpowder yourself? If you don't know how to make a bullet? Like, we got to get serious if we going to be serious about things, ladies and gentlemen. We got to stop playing with this shit. We got to really do the research, really start motherfucking elevating ourselves. We got to tell our kids, run for office. Be the police so we can stop seeing police beating up on us. We got to police our own communities. That's what the Bloods and the Crips originated for. They were originally there to try to police their communities. They are branches from the Black Panthers that broke off after the Black Panthers broke off. I know because I am one. Okay? Y'all need to stop playing with this shit, bro. We got to start organizing and start getting together. Let's come up with a plan and how to do this. On sharpens on and stop bashing each other. Because I'm telling y'all now, when y'all come at me, I'm going to come at y'all. And I'm telling y'all, y'all might not be as sharp as I am. I played dumb. I read the 48 Laws of Power. I know how to manipulate you niggas. So let's stop playing games with each other and let's get this work done and educate our people. And I'm going to leave it there. Peace and blessings. This is Truth Ministries, the Gun Squad, both barrels blazing. Never bring a knife to a gunfight. And I'm out.